Before we proceed further, request you to please subscribe to our channel as shown above. Hello friends, welcome to Kamath Astrology. Today we will talk about a transit that is going to happen on 2nd March 2022. So on 2nd March 2022 at 12:11 pm IST, Jupiter or Guru moves from the Shatabisha Nakshatra into the Purvabhadrapad Nakshatra, and he remains in this nakshatra till 28th April 2022. So in this video, let us analyze the general impact of this transit. Now look at this chart. You will see two horizontal blue lines which represents the boundaries of the Purvabhadrapad Nakshatra. So the Purvabhadrapad Nakshatra starts at 20 degrees in the sign of Aquarius and it ends at 3 degree 20 minutes in the sign of Pisces, which means that the first three portions of the Purvabhadrapad Nakshatra lie in the sign of Aquarius or Kumbh, and the last portion or Pada of Purvabhadrapad Nakshatra lies in the sign of Pisces or Meen. The planetary deity ruling the Purvabhadrapad Nakshatra is Jupiter or Guru, and on 2nd March 2022, Jupiter or Guru moves into his own nakshatra of Purvabhadrapada, but he will move into the portion of the nakshatra that lies in the sign of Aquarius, and on 13th April 2022 he will cross the sign of Aquarius and move into the last pada of Purvabhadrapad Nakshatra, which lies in the sign of Pisces or Meen. So let us analyze the impact of this transit. Now you can see that the Purvabhadrapad Nakshatra acts like a bridge between the sign of Aquarius and the sign of Pisces. The sign of Aquarius is the natural 11th house in the zodiac, which represents the highest level of wishes, aspirations, desires. And the sign of Pisces, which is the 12th house, that represents liberation, isolation, leaving behind your wishes to achieve something divine, to achieve something higher. In other words, the sign of Pisces represents the world beyond the normal world. It relates to the higher spiritual experiences. So Purvabhadrapad Nakshatra represents the best of both the worlds, that is this earthly material world as well as the spiritual world, and it is the bridge between these two worlds. Now let us understand the symbol of the Purvabhadrapad Nakshatra. One symbol of the Purvabhadrapad Nakshatra is a sword, and this sword represents cutting out all the negative things, all the negative experiences in your life in order to move towards the highest spiritual pleasure or bliss represented by the sign of Pisces. Which means that you have to give up all your material pleasures, all your material desires after enjoying them, and then move to the higher realm of spirituality, of divine experiences. You can relate what I am saying to the story of sage Vishwamitra. Now Vishwamitra was a king, and once while he was roaming a forest, he enters into the ashram of Vasisht with his whole army, and he is very tired. Vasisht agrees to serve him and his whole army with food. The king asks Vasisht, "You will get tired. How will you serve so many of us?" Vasisht says, "Don't worry." Now Vasisht had a divine cow called Kamadhenu who used to give whatever he desired. So Vasisht simply prayed to Kamadhenu and she arranged for the food for those thousands of soldiers as well as King Vishwamitra. Vishwamitra was surprised as to how that cow could provide so much food. So he thought that the best of things should belong to the king, and therefore at first he requested the sage to give the cow to him. The sage refused, saying that this is a divine blessing given to me, and one cannot share his mother with another person. So, in the Indian culture, the cow is regarded as one's mother, and so Vashisht refused to give the cow to Vishwamitra, who was also known as Kaushik at that time. Vishwamitra ordered his soldiers to seize the cow. Vashisht simply prayed to the cow, and the cow generated its own army, which defeated the full army of Vishwamitra. Vishwamitra was shocked. He went to the forest and prayed to Lord Brahma for many years. And he asked for divine weapons. Brahma gave him that blessing, and he got all kinds of divine weapons. He returned back to fight with Vasishta. But Vasishta had a divine staff, so whatever weapons Vishwamitra threw towards Vasishta, those weapons would get absorbed in that staff. Now Vishwamitra was surprised as to how a Brahmin could have so much power. And at that point, Vishwamitra made a decision that he would leave his kingdom, he would leave all the material things and become a Brahma Rishi. Vishwamitra prayed for thousands of years, and then Brahma blessed him that you are now a Raja Rishi. A Raja Rishi is a sage who advises kings. But Vishwamitra was not satisfied. He wanted to become a Brahma Rishi. So he continued praying to Brahma, and in that course, the god of heavens Indra created many obstacles for Vishwamitra, and sometimes he fell prey to those obstacles, like when an Apsara was sent to disturb his penance. However, Vishwamitra realized his mistakes. He overcame those mistakes and he continued praying. Then Brahma blessed him that you are a Maharishi. Vishwamitra then asked Brahma why he has still not become a Brahma Rishi. Brahma replied that you have not yet controlled your hatred, your anger, your vengeance towards Vashisht. And once you learn to give up these revengeful qualities, you will be qualified as a Brahma Rishi, and Vashisht himself has to come and bless you as a Brahma Rishi. Vishwamitra continued his penance for several thousand years. And finally, Rishi Vashisht was also pleased with Vishwamitra, and he came and blessed Vishwamitra that from now on, you who are known as King Kaushik will be known as Vishwamitra, that is the friend of the world. And from now on, you are a Brahma Rishi. Vishwamitra also invented the Gayatri Mantra. So this story relates to Purvabhadrapada, where they enjoy all the material pleasures. But at a point, they realize that this is not the true power. And then they try to seek something higher, something better, something related to spirituality and divine experience. Another symbol of the Purvabhadrapad Nakshatra is a person with two faces. This represents duality. That is, these people look at situations in two ways or two different ways. They have different perspectives on the same situation. So often they are dual-minded. The deity of this nakshatra is a form of Shiva, that is a Rudra called as Ajay Ekapada, which means the deity who stands on one foot and has two faces. It represents that form of Shiva from which Brahma and Vishnu emerge, and therefore it represents the supreme power. Rudra is that form of Shiva which brings about transformation, which first brings about a destruction followed by a rebirth. You can see that in Vishwamitra's case, the same thing happened. He enjoyed all the worldly pleasures, and then he was confronted with an event which made him change his belief and realize that spiritual power is the highest power. And even a king does not have that power which a sage truly has but never displays openly. So these people face a lot of transformation, lot of challenging situations in their life, but eventually that transforms them to move towards spirituality, to move towards a higher realm. The animal symbol of this nakshatra is the lion, and the lion is considered as the mount or the vehicle of goddess Durga. And therefore, if the natives with moon in this nakshatra pray to goddess Durga and to Lord Shiva, it gives them a lot of benefits in life. It helps them attain their goals easily. Now, one thing you can understand from the story of Vishwamitra is that the people born in this nakshatra are extremely goal oriented. So, you could find people with extreme personalities being born in this nakshatra. For example, people born in this nakshatra could be abused in their childhood by their parents, and when they grow up, they could become psychos or killers. On the other side, you will also find such people born in this nakshatra who enjoyed all the material things in life, but an event transforms them so much that they decide to renounce everything and move towards spirituality and God. Now, having understood all these things about this nakshatra, let us now put Jupiter into this nakshatra. Let us say Jupiter enters into the portion of this nakshatra that lies in the sign of Aquarius. Now, the sign of Aquarius is ruled by Saturn, and the nakshatra of Purvabhadrapada is ruled by Jupiter. So, when Jupiter is in the Aquarius portion of Purvabhadrapad Nakshatra, he is influenced by the energy of Saturn. The sign of Aquarius is about uplifting humanity. It is about your wishes, aspirations, and desires. So, when Jupiter is under the influence of Saturn's energy, it still has a materialistic tinge to it. And these people work for their own upliftment, their own benefit, but at the same time, they also serve humanity with the expectation that they will get credit for the work they are doing and they will get recognition for the work they are doing. So, when Jupiter moves into the Purvabhadrapad Nakshatra portion, which lies in the sign of Aquarius or Kumbh, Jupiter becomes materialistic there. People become a bit selfish, but they still serve humanity. However, after April 13th, 2022, Jupiter crosses Aquarius and moves into the last pada of Purvabhadrapad Nakshatra. Now, the sign of Pisces is ruled by Jupiter. The nakshatra of Purvabhadrapada, that is the fourth pada of Purvabhadrapada, is ruled by Jupiter. And therefore, this is complete Jupiterian energy. There, a person works selflessly for the benefit of mankind, which means that after 28th April 2022, you will see people working selflessly for each other, because Jupiter will be in his own nakshatra, in his own sign, and it is the natural 12th house in the zodiac belt, which means that there will be a wave of spirituality, a wave of realization amongst all of us. But till Jupiter is in the Aquarius portion of the Purvabhadrapad Nakshatra, the world leaders will have a materialistic tinge. Their egos will take over and lot of destruction will be there. And finally, this destruction will be followed by rebirth, which is nothing but the realization of God, the realization that life is short, and the realization that it is only in this life that we need to do our good deeds continuously. So, in short, Jupiter's transit through the Purvabhadrapad Nakshatra will definitely bring about a major transformation in the world. Wars, followed by realization of God, realization of spirituality. Now, for the Aries Lagna or the Mesh ascendant, you will initially face certain hurdles in establishing your wishes, hopes, desires, but eventually this transit will give you gains. So be patient. For Taurus ascendant, this transit brings about a major transformation in your career for the good. You will eventually get a lot of gains in your career. For the Gemini ascendant, this transit is not very good. It is going to bring about certain disturbances, and you will be worried with respect to the houses ruled by Jupiter in your chart. That is the 7th house of marriage and the 10th house of career. One of these houses will face certain challenges, but eventually you will succeed. For the Cancer ascendant, this transit will bring about a transformation that will make you visit temples, pilgrimages, and spiritual places. Also, it will bring some challenges in the health of your father or an elderly figure in the family. For Leo ascendants, this transit is good, but it brings about certain challenges in your married life, in your partnerships, because Jupiter is close to the Sun. So do not allow your ego to disturb your partnerships. Definitely, this transit will bring about a transformation in partnerships. For the Virgo ascendant or the Kanya Lagna, this transit will bring about certain challenges in your routine work, in your daily work. Avoid giving loans to anyone in this time period, else you might be cheated. For the Libra ascendant, this transit brings about a lot of speculative gains in your life, but take care of the health of your children in this time period. So some transformation in the life of your children, in your love life, will happen in this time period. For the Scorpio ascendant or the Vrishik Lagna, this transit will bring certain challenges with respect to your dealings with your siblings or your neighbors, and in the home environment there will be some lack of peace in this time period, but eventually this transit will give you good results towards 13th April 2022. For the Dhanu Lagna or the Sagittarius ascendant, this transit gives you a lot of courage to do the right things in life. It also is a good time for you to learn something new, to travel short distances, and to take new initiatives. For the Capricorn ascendant or Makar Lagna, this transit will bring about some challenges related to your finances initially, but eventually you will get a lot of money. Within your family environment, there may be some disturbances at this time, but as Jupiter moves forward, those issues will get resolved for the Capricorn ascendant or Makar Lagna. For the Aquarius ascendant or Kumbha Lagna, Jupiter entering into the Purvabhadrapad Nakshatra is a very good thing for you, because till now Jupiter was under the influence of Rahu in Shatabisha. So this transit will increase your wealth. It will also give you good health and prosperity in this time period. For Meen Lagna or Pisces ascendant, till Jupiter is in your 12th house, that is in the portion of Purva Bhadrapad, ruled by Saturn in Aquarius, you are going to face financial challenges, expenses, and mental stress. But once Jupiter moves into the Purva Bhadrapada, 4th Pada, that is the portion of Purva Bhadrapada that lies in the sign of Pisces, all those problems will start disappearing, and it will also bring about a major spiritual transformation within you. So in short, Purva Bhadrapada is a very powerful nakshatra. It has intense energy, and the people born in this nakshatra have the capacity to stand on one foot and do penance to achieve their goals. So the true essence of this nakshatra is the bridge between the material life and the spiritual life, and the transformation that bonds that bridge. So friends, if you like this video, please mark it as liked on YouTube. If you have not subscribed to our channel Kamath Astrology, you can do so by clicking the subscribe button. For any consultations, email us at astrosevaworld@yahoo.com and we'll be glad to assist you. You can know more about us by visiting our website astroseva.tripod.com. So friends, thanks a lot. Bye. Take care and stay safe.